So, as part of the Spring Festival 2021 lineup, X Plus has recently just announced a bunch of new figures from Godzilla, Ultraman, I think the Harryhausen line as well. But today we're going to take a look at some of those Godzilla figures. So, we're going to start off with the bang, the big figure, the Favorite Sculptors line Gigantic Series Godzilla 1954. This one's actually based off of the Inoue Arts kit from 1986. So they decided to turn this into a vinyl Gigantic, which I think is really cool. I know since these images have been released, it's been causing conversation among the community. A lot of people think it looks even better than the Sakai sculpt that came out a few years ago. So, I think I might have to agree. This just looks fantastic. He's massive. He's done in a black and white monochromatic paint tone. His tail is dynamic. I do like that because I know, no hate against the Sakai one. I know the tail is, very flat and just in one position. This one kind of arches over. This 360 view is from the US Rig site, by the way. And then we have some still images here of him as well. Unfortunately, I won't be able to get him because I don't have a lot of space right now to collect any Gigantics. But he looks great. I'm looking forward to seeing people getting him and see what he actually looks like in hand. So let's move on. Next up, we have the Toho Large Monster Series Rodan from Godzilla King of the Monsters. I know they released a prototype unpainted image several months ago, and now we have painted images. Just like the Death Reels, it looks like it's going to be, the rig version has like the fiery lava effects on the wings and maybe a little bit on the body. And then the standard version is just going to be a plain paint scheme. But honestly, either way, I really love both. I opted in for the rig version for the Death Reel, but for the 25 centimeter scale one, I love the fire effects on the rig. But then the standard, I feel like, has a great paint job as well, where it almost looks like he's sort of like a gargoyle-like, stone-like. So I feel like the paint schemes are different enough that it could warrant, if people want to double dip and get both versions. I do like the pose. I like the fact that they put him in a flying position. We see him a lot in the movie, mostly flying. So I'm glad they opted in for that. I like the roaring sculpt of the head. I think it really does feel like he's in the middle of like a flight and a battle. So that's really cool. I'm looking forward to this one coming out. I might pick this one up as well. I'm expecting, because of the wingspan, he's probably going to be pretty big. The body, I do like the size. Like, he is smaller, which is cool, but the wing size will be big. But I do like the fact that he is kind of like on the smaller side. So I expect to see maybe this year or maybe the next, we'll be getting a Mothra to follow up with this one. Ghidorah, I know, is something that's been something people have discussed for a long time, but I don't know if that will ever happen. But it would be cool to see Mothra as well. I think she'd look amazing with this wingspan scaled with him. And just imagine this and the Mothra with the 25 centimeter, any version of the Godzilla, the burning one, the light up one, the standard one, they would look great together. Now, this next figure is interesting. This is actually part of a new line, it looks like, that X Plus is going to be doing, called the Toho Maniacs line. So I guess we're starting off this line with the Dr. Serizawa figure. I think it's a suitable start, considering it's from the original movie. I don't know what scale these guys are going to be in, but it seems like this line is going to be based off of human characters, humanoid characters. I don't know how big they'll be, but I think it'll be interesting. I know they released the Death Reel version of Serizawa, or they put him up for pre-order not that long ago, and that one looked really good. My guess is this might be a 6th scale line, but I don't know. Because if the figures are that small, I don't know if it'll warrant having a line that's comparable in size to the Death Reels. So that's what leads me to believe that it might be possibly a 6th scale or maybe 8th scale line, something to differentiate it a little more from the Death Reel line. So we might have more of like an in-between size. But I am looking forward to this. I'm interested to see what other characters they choose because, we've got so many characters from the entire history of the franchise. So I think there's definitely a lot of people that they could make, a lot of characters they could make. So yeah, we'll see what goes on with this line. So moving on to the Death Reel line, we have the Godzilla 2000 from Godzilla vs. Megaguirus right here. This looks fantastic. I own the Godzilla 1999 Death Reel that they released. I have the Rick version of that one with the ship in the mouth. I think he looks so good. I love the sculpt on that one. This is basically the same one in a different pose, and he has the Meganula in his hand and his mouth, which adds such a cool level of movement, like a sense of movement to him. I think it makes him stand out from a lot of the other figures. It kind of reminds me of the GMK Death Reel they have, the Rick one where he's standing on Baragon. I think this really makes it stand out. the dorsals for me are one of the standouts for this suit in general, so I think it looks really good. The sculpt will be great. Of course, this is a prototype image, so maybe the paint and the sculpt might vary a little bit, as we've seen with some of their other Deferils. But honestly, I don't think it'll be too much of a change. No release date yet on this one, but I'll probably pick this one up. So yeah, let's move on to the next. And now for the last figure I wanted to talk about, we have the Deferil Biogoji from Godzilla vs. Biollante. Finally, they're putting a Heisei sculpt into the Deferil line. I've wanted one for a while now. He looks really good. Of course, these are the unpainted prototype images, so just like with the other figures, they're subject to change by the initial release. I don't know if too much will vary, but in terms of paint, we'll get the traditional black paint scheme, charcoal black for the standard version. The Rick, I don't know what they're going to do with, if they're going to include like maybe a different paint scheme or other accessory to go along maybe with Biollante. This is a picture of the two of them together. I think they do scale well together. I think they'll look great together. Personally, what I'd like to see in a Rick version, if they decided to go with a different paint scheme, is something along the lines of the NECA Biogoji. What they did was the like the slime variant, basically, which is the bile or the spit from Biollante on Godzilla. I'm a fan of colorful figures, especially among X Plus, when most of them almost look like the same color after a lot of time when you have all of them together. It's nice to have those figures like a burning Godzilla that kind of pops. So I think that the slime color variant would look good on especially a Deferil, because they're already stylized as it is. So if they wanted to make it pop a little bit, that for me would be an instant pre-order. But regardless of that, I still think I might get this one because it's a Heisei sculpt. He looks fantastic. Later down the line, I'm sure they're going to do other ones applied to Burning Godzilla would look really good too. Alright, so these are the figures that I wanted to talk about today. I think X Plus has a really good lineup of stuff coming out. Good variety among these releases so far. A couple of Deferils, a 25cm scale figure, and a gigantic. Let me know down in the comments below what you think you're going to be getting, what you want to pre-order, stuff that you're looking forward to that X Plus hasn't announced yet. I think the Toho Maniac series is definitely something to keep an eye out for. Kind of came out of nowhere, so I'm looking forward to see what they do with it. I think it's a good way to start with Dr. Serizawa. We definitely have a lot of representation of him now. We've got the Deferil one. We have from a couple of years back a Rick figure of him from the 25cm scale, Godzilla 1954. So I feel like they could do a lot with a lot of different characters down the line. Still don't know what the scale is going to be, but if you have an idea or if you have any speculation, why don't you comment down below? Let me know what you think. Consider subscribing to my channel. I do Godzilla figure news and reviews all the time. I actually just opened up an Instagram account at Total Approximation. That's total_approximation. And I post Godzilla content there, figure photography really. I think you'd really like it if you're into any sort of Godzilla figure content in general. But I just want to say thank you for watching. Check out my other videos. I recently just reviewed a giant Marmot Godzilla 2016 or Shin Godzilla figure that I just got in the mail a few days ago at the time of this recording. So yeah, thank you and have a good one.